The Monday, August 24th, 2020 Board of Adjustment meeting is now in session. First item on the agenda is roll call. When I say your name, please say here. Debbie Juday, here. Michael Nichols.
Here.
Lance Antia.
Here.
Kevin Maston. Schwan Gabriel. Russell Parmel, or Russ.
Here.
Ventress Gerald. Tina Schofield. Suzanne Meyer. Here.
Yeah, this is Dennis
Joanne
O'Brien.
Clifton. Bob Bruno, alternate.
Here.
Okay,
and
thank
just
you.
But Swansea.
I'm sorry.
What was that?
I
I'm
was
sorry,
on mute.
Schwan, it cut out.
Yeah, I was on mute. I was just saying I was present. Can't hear me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We will now have the staff presentation for the format of our remote meeting.
Since we do not plan on having anybody in opposition, the meeting will be pretty straightforward. Just Debbie will continue to call the motions. Please, and if you do a motion, please call your name. Debbie will then recognize you by name, and then after, when we need a vote, she'll do a roll call on the minutes. And it's the annual meeting where we elect a chair, a vice chair. And then after the vice chair and chair is elected, the chair then appoints Beth and I as secretary and clerk. We will then move on to the public hearing where the applicant will speak and present his information on his case. After the applicant is done speaking, we'll see if there's any calls for or against. There are calls for and against. The Board of Adjustment has to determine whether or not those individuals have standing. Basically, whether or not, if this project took place, it would adversely impact them or positively impact them. So that'd be the first determination of standing. If someone has standing and it wishes the meeting not to be remote, we would then stop the meeting. Anybody who has standing has ability to prevent a remote meeting from happening during a quasi-judicial hearing now in the state of North Carolina. After the standings are determined, the for and against are all done, the board will then take their typical actions and going through the 4 findings needed to approve the special use permit for this accessory building. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Thank you. We will we'll elect the chairperson and the vice chair now, who will represent the Board of Adjustment this coming year. And so we will first elect the chairman. Do we have some nominations for the chairman? Chairperson?
Yes, I nominate Debbie Juday. Michael Nichols.
Okay. Are there some other nominations? Okay, Michael made the motion to elect Debbie as chairman, and do we have a second?
Second.
Joanne. Okay. And so now we'll take a vote for the approval of the chairman nomination. When I call your name, please respond with your vote as yes or no. Debbie Juday, yes. Michael Nichols?
Yes.
Lance Antio?
Yes.
Kevin Maston? Schwan Gabriel?
Yes.
Interest is not here. Tina's not here. Suzanne Meyer,
Yes.
Joanne Clifton, Bob Bruno,
Yes.
and Russ.
Yes.
I know you're an alternate. I think it's okay. Yes. Okay, we need to elect the vice chairman. Do we have some nominations? I believe you can nominate yourself.
I'll nominate myself.
Okay, Schwan. So Schwan nominates himself, Schwan, and do we have a second?
Second. Second.
I'm sorry, who is that seconded?
Lance
Lance? Okay.
and Russ, sounds like.
And
Third.
so now we'll take a vote for the approval. Well, I'll repeat that. Schwan has nominated himself and Lance seconded it. So now we'll take a vote for the approval of the vice chairman nomination. So when I call your name, please say yes or no. Debbie Juday, yes. Michael Nichols?
Yes.
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 Lance?
Yes.
Yes. Schwan?
Yes.
Okay. Russ?
Yes.
Suzanne?
Yes. Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
And Bob?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Traditionally, the town clerk has been appointed to the clerk of the Board of Adjustment, and the zoning officer has been the secretary. So as chairperson, I appoint Beth Price as clerk to the board, and I appoint Jeff Hatling as secretary to the board. And we will approve the minutes for February 24th, 2020. Is there a motion for approval for the February 24th, 2020 minutes?
Motion to approve.
A second.
Okay, that was Mike, and then the second by Suzanne. And so now I'll take the vote. Debbie Juday, yes. Michael,
Yes.
Lance,
Yes.
Shawan,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Suzanne,
Yes.
Joanne. Yes. And Bob.
Yes.
Okay, now we will begin the public hearing. Dennis O'Brien, agent for owner, applying for a special use permit to allow an oversized accessory structure requiring authorization by the Board of Adjustment for property located at 165 Stanley Farm Road, being all of PIN number 6876-18-3410.00, containing 1.07 acres plus or minus, and located in an RS12 zoning district. That's zoning docket K-20.02. And now the staff will present the staff report, please. Once the staff has finished their presentation, then I will address the board and ask if anyone has any questions. Once the board has finished asking questions, then we'll need to address anyone who is watching the meeting via YouTube live stream or who has called in.
So the applicant in this case is Dennis O'Brien, and he has applied for a special use permit to allow an addition to an accessory structure requiring authorization by the Board of Adjustment for property located at 165 Stanley Farm Road. The site is approximately 1.07 acres and is zoned RS12, residential single family with a minimum lot size of 12,000 square feet. The Unified Development Ordinance requires accessory structures to be located within the side or rear yard and set back from all property lines. The proposed accessory structure addition would be constructed within the rear yard of the lot and set back in excess of the minimum requirements, which are 75 feet from the front and 3 feet from the sides and rear. The UDO sets size limits for accessory structures, which include not exceeding 5% of the zoning lot size and 25% of the required rear yard area. In this case, the existing structure and the proposed addition combined will cover approximately 24% of the minimum lot area and 15% of the required rear yard. The UDO also states that the Board of Adjustment shall issue a special use permit only when the board makes an affirmative finding as follows: that the location and character of the use, if developed according to the application and plan submitted, will be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located and in general conformity with the Kernersville Development Plan. The images that you see on the left show the proposed garage structure. The addition will be constructed of wood with tan vinyl siding to match what's existing. There will be 2 garage doors, a single man door, and windows on the southern facade. The images on the right are examples of existing accessory structures on other parcels located along Stanley Farm Road. The UDO sets out specific guidelines for processing special use permit requests to include timeliness of application submittal and public notice of the hearing. All timeframes were consistent with the UDO requirements. The worksheet that's shown here is intended as a guide for the board's discussion on the matter and is also included at the end of the staff report. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I believe that Mr. O'Brien has been placed into the call with us, so he's been listening.
Yes, and Mr. O'Brien, right now I believe you have 2 sounds going on, so you get some back feed. So I got you muted. You're unmuted right now.
Right.
I'll turn it back over to Debbie.
Okay, thank you so much, Rochelle and Jeff. So board, do you have any questions, board, of the staff? Do you have any questions for Rochelle concerning the permit?
Rochelle, I have a question.
Sure.
Was the original existing structure, did that have to get a special use permit when that was initially constructed?
I don't have an answer for that. Jeff, do you know if that would be the case? I mean, accessory structures are
Yes.
required when it's an oversized structure, it's required to have a special use permit. And in this case, it was an oversized structure.
Yes, the first structure built that this is adding on to was a special use permit. So this is an addition to a special use, previously approved special use permit.
Thank you.
We would ask if anyone else. Does someone else have a question?
Sorry, I cannot read. How close did the building get to the property line?
Which property line are you referring to?
The very back corner, one that's closest, it has a little marking on it, but I could not read it.
It's 3 feet 10 inches.
Well, that's the rules.
So, Mr. O'Brien, could you just kind of walk us through what you're looking to do and what you're going to use it for, or any of
Well-
these kind of things?
Well, I have a large Class A motorhome, and I need to garage it, and I also have some classic cars that I store here at the property. So I need to expand the garage to put my vehicles and my motorhome under cover. It's just basically a workshop and motorhome garage and storing for my classic cars.
Okay, thank you. And it looked like the property behind yours is wooded. I mean, it's not,
Yeah, I think there's like 8.5 acres. It's unbuildable from what my neighbor tells me. It's just kind of a natural area.
thank you. And will you be conducting any business in this proposed building?
No, just storage for my own personal use.
Thank you.
Is there any other information that you would like to share with the board?
No, that pretty well is what I'm trying to do with it.
Okay.
Hey, Rochelle, could you
Does anyone-
drop your screen now, Rochelle, so everybody can see each other? Thank you.
Adam, have you received any phone calls or any questions for us from the public?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so, we agree that the applicant has standing and, oh, that's only for callers. We don't have any. Okay, so board, let's go over the findings that we have based on the factual testimony and evidence presented without consideration of hearsay. And so the first one is that the use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed according to the application and plan as submitted and approved. And that the use meets all required conditions and specifications. That the use will not substantially injure the value of adjoining or abutting properties or property. That the location and character of the use, if developed according to the application and plan submitted and approved, will be in harmony with the area in which it is located and in general conformity with the Kernersville development plan. And so I can go through those again. And, well, what we'll do is are there any other questions from anyone at all? Okay, and so we'll ask for a motion regarding the request for the special use permit. And we can provide one of the three options, either move to approve the special use permit as presented by the staff, or move to deny the special use permit as permitted by the staff. Or someone can move to approve the special use permit as presented by the staff with any conditions. And
Joanne Clifton to move to approve the motion. Move to approve the special use permit as presented by the staff.
okay,
Second.
I second.
okay. Rochelle or Jeff, when I went through the 4 conditions, I didn't leave room or time for anyone to answer. Do I need to go back through those conditions?
I think Joanne, to make a clarification or motion, that the motion was based upon staff presentation and the hearing information and the findings in the positive on all 4 requirements.
Okay, great, thank you. And so Joanne made the motion and we had 2 seconded. Suzanne, and was it Lance?
Mike.
Mike, okay, thank y'all very much. And so you move to approve it, Joanne?
Yes, I
You move
do.
to approve it, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
And we've had it second, so let's take a vote. I say yes. And Michael,
Yes.
Lance,
Yes.
Kevin is not here, Shawan,
Yes.
Russ,
Yes.
say. Russ, do you say yes to
Yes.
approving it?
Yes.
I think we're losing Debbie.
Okay, thank you. Fentress is not here, Tina is not here. I'm sorry. Suzanne?
Yes.
Yes. And Joanne?
Yes,
Joanne, yes.
yes.
And Bob?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Does staff have any updates at all?
No, I thank everyone for coming aboard, and plugging through, and Debbie, thank you for, pulling us through step by step, and appreciate it, everybody, and hopefully we won't see you guys soon.
Thank you so very much. And so do we have someone make, and thank you all for being here and for the nominations. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Sean,
moved.
Sean? Okay, in a second.
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 Suzanne.
Suzanne, great. It's 6:20.